my viewers, let's see how we can provide a solution to this simple equation clearly written on the board. But before then, I would like to use this point to remind my viewers that if you are watching my video for the first time, kindly do us a favor by subscribing to our YouTube channel and also by turning on the notification button so that anytime I upload video, it will just be at your fingertips. Thank you so much. Let's see how we can provide a solution to this simple equation. So, solution, we have an equation that says 2 raised power sine square x plus 2 raised power cos square x is equal to 3. So I know that different people will have different methods of solving this particular equation. I have my own method of solving this particular equation differently. So let's see how we can go about it. But I would like to draw us back a little to our identities that says that anytime you have something like sine square x is the same thing as 1 minus cos square x. So knowing this will help us in solving this particular equation. So this is the same thing as 2 raised power. Instead of sine square x, I can put 1 minus cos square x plus 2 raised power cos square x is equal to 3. We can see now we have cos square x and cos square x are the same. Also, we can recall that in our indices, anytime we have a raised power m minus n is the same thing as a raised power m all over a raised power n. Knowing this will also help us in solving this particular equation. So to reach the next step, we have to use this particular idea. So this is the same thing as 2 raised power 1 all over 2 raised power cos square x plus 2 raised power cos square x is equals to 3. Going by this, so let me divide the board. I have 2 raised power cos square x. I also have another 2 raised power cos square x. In order to ease the solution, I can let another variable or unknown to be equal to raised power cos square x, so that by the time I get the value of that unknown I introduce, I will get the value of 2 raised power cos square x, and eventually I will get the value of x. So let a be equal to 2 raised power cos square x, so that anywhere I see 2 raised power cos square x, I will put a. So this is the same thing as 2 over a, because of this 2 raised power cos square x plus a is equals to 3. We can see that it is getting more simpler as we reach this particular step. So the next thing is to multiply each individual term by this a so as to clear this fraction. Multiplying it by a, that means I have a here, multiplying 2 over a, close bracket, plus a multiplying another a is equals to 3 multiplying a. That means I multiplied each individual term by a so as to clear this particular fraction, so that this a will go with this a. I will have 2 plus a times a is a squared is equals to a times 3 is 3a. So I want to send this 3a to the other side, to the left hand side, so that to the right hand side it will be equal to 0. So this is 2 plus a squared minus 3a is equal to 0. I want to rearrange this. I want to rearrange this so that I have a perfect quadratic equation. So this is a squared minus 3a plus 2 is equal to 0. This is quadratic equation. Let's try and see whether we can factorize this particular quadratic equation. We know that since it is quadratic equation, I must have two brackets to be equal to 0. The coefficient of a squared here is 1. So I have a here, I have a here, because so that a times a is equal to a squared. So I have to look for two numbers or two factors that when multiplied, I will get plus 2. And when added or subtracted, I will get minus 3. And these numbers are minus 1 and minus 2, because minus 1 times minus 1 is actually plus 2, and minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. So the numbers are, or the factors are, minus 1 and minus 2. We remember that when I have a multiplying b to be equal to 0, it's the same thing as either a, definitely either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0, but one of these two must be equal to 0. So understanding this concept will help us in solving this particular equation. That means it's either a minus 1 is equal to 0 or a minus 2 is equal to 0. It's either the first bracket is equal to 0 or the second bracket is equal to 0. Hope I'm communicating. Thank you. So understanding this, that means I need to send this negative sign to the right side, so that to the left side I only have a. And in this case also, I'll have to send this negative 2 to the right side, so that to the left side I have a. That means it's the same thing as a is equals to 1 or a is equal to 2. But remember, we were asked to find the values of x and not a. I introduced a in order to ease the solution or the steps. So, but at a particular point, I let q raised power cos square x to be equals to a. And if that is the case, I have to plug the values of a one after the other. So, if a is equals to 1, that means 2 raised power of cos square x will be equals to 1. And we know that any number raised power of 0 is equals to 1. In our law of indices, we know that when I have a raised power of 0 equals to 1. So understanding this concept will help us in solving this particular step. So this is something as 2 raised power cos square x is equals to 2 raised power of 0, because any number raised power of 0 is 1. Having the same basis, I can as well cancel the basis and use the powers. Cos square x is equal to 0. I'm looking for x. That means x will now be equals to the cos inverse of 0. And the cos inverse of 0 is 90. If you like, call it pi over 2. But pi over 2 is radians. So this is the value of x as far, that is when a is equals to 1. And when a is equals to 2, 2 raised power cos square x is equals to 2. This is the same thing as 2 raised power 1, so that I cancel the basis. Cos square x is equals to 1. Since I'm looking for x, I need to take the x is equals to cos inverse of 1. And cos inverse of 1 is equal to 0. So cos inverse of 1 is equal to 0. So let me clean this side. So we know that our respective values of x are 90 and 0. So x is equals to 90 or x is equals to 0. We can test this 90 and 0 to see whether we can have 3, or whether 90 or 0 or both of them will satisfy this equation. If we pick 90 degrees, sine 90 degrees is 1. Sine 90 degrees is equals to 1. So 2 sine square x plus 2 cos square x. Let's see whether it will give us 3. Sine square x, sine 90 degrees is 1. So 1 squared is still 1. Then 2 raised to power 1 is still 2. Plus cos 90 degrees. Cos 90 degrees is equal to 0. When you use calculator, you will know that cos 90 degrees is 0. Then 0 squared is 0. Then 2 raised to power 0. This is 2 raised to power 0, which is equals to 2 plus n raised to power 0 is 1, which is equal to 3. So we can see that 90 satisfies the equation. So if you really understand it, try to plug in 0 and see whether it will give you 3. But I know that 90 and 0 satisfy the equation. Thank you so much. This is all I have for you for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that any day I upload my video, you will just be notified. Bye.